This isn't a garage queen, but I do like my cars to be clean. The GTS needs a wash. Let's crack on with it. Welcome to Project 981. Welcome back to the channel if you've watched previous videos. Thank you. Now this isn't going to be a detailing video. I enjoy washing cars and I enjoy a bit of detailing, but I'm not a detailer. But I did think on this one occasion I would show you around a car wash. The car's pretty filthy, fairly well used over the last month in the UK. The roads have been grubby, so I'm going to go around the car with a full wash, show you how I do it, what I use, what I'm looking for, the kind of finish you can achieve with a couple of hours. Hope you'll learn a little bit about what I do, and I look forward to some comments after the video about what you might have done differently. But it's pretty straightforward, nothing fancy. Let's make a start. Well, if you're anything like me, over the years you've acquired a load of stuff to wash your car, and as you can see, I'm a kind of a twin bucket kind of guy, essentially. Ignore the branding, other buckets are available. And the essence of my wash is to start with a bit of snow foam, which is that, some wheel cleaner, which is that. If there's a couple of bugs on the front of the car, some bug cleaner, and then good old-fashioned shampoo in the buckets, grit guard, which is kind of useful but not essential. I use a lamb's wool mitt for the actual contact wash. I get cold hands, so I've got some gloves. I've got wheel woolies. Other brands are available for the wheels. They work well. There's my foaming How's Your Father for the jet wash, which is straightforward and does the job. Measure out the concentrations correctly. Kitchen scourer, just for getting the worst off the edge of the tyres. Nice stack of clean towels to dry. And then what do we got over here? Yeah, jet wash. You know what jet wash looks like. One of the best things I ever did was buy this really long hose, the jet wash. I can't remember how long it is, but it easily goes the length of the car and back some, so you don't have to keep moving the jet wash around itself, which is great. And then I'm going to do a very quick pre-wash because I have some made up pre-wash left over from the winter, so I'll pop that on the car to start with. The one other thing I have which really helps me is this great big thing, which isn't a scuba diving tank. It's actually a water filter. We live in parts of the United Kingdom with very hard water, which is to say lots of dissolved solids in it out of the tap, and this will remove pretty much all of them. Actually, it's amazing how effective it is, just full of a resin. So we run that through the inlet from the mains outlet to just a sort of hose attachment. So I don't use the jet washer to run that, but what I will do is then just rinse the car off afterwards, or if it risks getting dry with the demineralized water, so there's no hard water marks. Other things, this being a convertible means that I won't be washing the hood. The hood does need a reproof, but it's actually, given its age, pretty clean, so we're not going to be going near that. We won't be putting any product on it. It will get wet, of course it'll get wet, but that's just collateral. And then the other thing on this car is just it's easy to pop the rear wing up, because this is dirty actually. You can just see in there's a bit of dirt, so that'll get washed, and it's far easier to do it as you go. And then not forgetting the door shuts, which have picked up their fair share of grubbiness, so as you go around the car just popping those open. They're not too bad, but we'll do that as well. So the sequence for the car wash will be, I'm going to just jet off the worst. I'm going to pre-rinse till below the tide line, if you will. I did actually go through a couple of floods last month, so there was literally a tide line effectively. Anyway, we'll just pre-rinse that, jet wash off the worst of it. I mean, you can see, for example, let's have a quick look. You know, the black wheels really shelf this, but you know, get the worst of it off with the jet wash. Then I'll put some snow foam on to do a proper thorough pre-rinse on the whole car. Take that off, then we'll get on with the contact wash with the lamb's wool mitt. I tend to treat the wheels, I'll treat the wheels post snow foam with the cleaner, and then I'll wash them by hand at the end of the wash. The last thing really, which is pretty straightforward. Not too many flies on the front. It's not quite that time of year yet, so that shouldn't be too bad. And I'm hoping to maybe do a little wax later, but the first thing to do is wash the car, and the first part of washing the car is to get the pre-soak on. So I'm going to run a little time lapse, which is quite fun, and I'll interrupt myself as I go just to talk you through the progress being made. So let's make a start. Snow foam on, and so we'll let that just sit for sort of 8 to 10 minutes, just let it do its soaky cleany thing. What's really encouraging actually is I put some wax on this car, a liquid wax, about 6 weeks ago, and just the application of the jet wash alone just really lifts that dirt. I mean, my pre-soak was just some diluted snow foam sauce in water sprayed on, so it's kind of like soapy water. That softens it off. Jet wash with the wax underneath. Most of it's gone already, so this will get rid of what's left. Then a contact wash with the lambswool mitt will really bring it back to sort of its best possible condition. But it's really worth remembering that keeping the car waxed, many products are available for that, makes it so much easier to clean. This has got quite an old ceramic coating on it. It was quite a sort of prosumer. It wasn't a prosumer, a very consumer sort of home applied thing, which was done before I bought the car, but that does put a little bit of protection on it still, bit of wax on top of that, and the dirt just comes off really quickly. So keeping your car waxed makes it easy to clean. Who knew? Now I'm about to rinse off the snow foam. Somebody much more experienced than me once told me that you're supposed to rinse from the bottom up, and I've never really understood that, because surely you're just rinsing up into more dirt as it falls back into the wash, the jet wash stream. I don't know, I tend to start at the top and work down. Kind of makes more sense to me. Which way around do you do it? Do you start at the top or the bottom up? Snow foam rinsed off. I then put a little bit of bug spray on the bumper, the front bumper, on the nose. We'll clean it on the wheels. Funnily enough, let that sit for a couple of minutes. Jet washed all of that off, and we're now ready to actually put the lambswool on the car using the 2 buckets with a bit of warm water. And the beauty of having the filtered water available is the sun's just sort of hinting at coming out, which means hot metal, drying, watermark. So I'm going to give the whole car a quick rinse with filtered water, so if it does dry in places, I'm not going to get hard watermarks to have to deal with afterwards. But otherwise, it's just now a quick hand wash, and it's relatively quick car to wash. You don't have a roof, it's not a very big car, so that should take a reasonably short amount of time, with a little bit of work on the wheels to follow. And then we get down to the drying and the actual drying off of the car and all the shuts, which is the hard part. So we'll crack on with that. So that's the wash basically done now, as you've seen from the time lapse. Lamps will mitt, contact wash the whole way around, shuts, door handles, wing mirrors, done the wheels by hand as well, so inside the arch or inside the rim, bolts, bits and pieces like that. The sun is intermittent, so I'm just keeping the car wet with the filtered water, but it's now done. So the next job is to get on it with my drying cloths and get the worst of the water off. Not going to physically make sure it's super dry because it's a nice warm day, the wind will do the last bit for me. And then it's frunk, boot, doors, everything open to get all the rest of the water out. That's the tedious bit, to be honest. That's the bit that keeps it in good condition underneath, but it's the bit that I least enjoy because it takes forever, but we'll crack on with it. Right, so that's the guts of it done. Now, I don't own a Lamborghini Countach, but if I did, I'd always love having that view of all the front and the back and everything up and open, and oh, there's my finger. And it's awesome anyway. I can do that with my Boxster sort of anyway a bit. Right, yeah, it's getting up underneath here that's I think it's worth doing. Just getting all the stuff under here off. This lip here, which is so much improved on the 981 versus the 987. 997 keeps this all dry. I mean, that's, if you watch my earlier video when I get in here for a tidy up, you'll see that that's still looking nice and clean, which is very encouraging. The eagle-eyed amongst you will spot I've also revised my charging strategy for the battery. That's now plumbed directly in, earthed off on the hub, the turret rather, so that's that just means I don't have to worry about that not working in the cigarette lighter. But there, yeah, so I mean, all around here, you know, bits of foam in here. It's fine, it'll dry. It's only foam. It's got mineralised water. You're getting right inside here. There's a drain in here, but it's just easy enough to just get in there with the drying cloth. Get in here down the edges. You know what an open door looks like. It's getting up in here as well. It's just keeping on top of that, which I haven't really detailed this. I haven't sort of thoroughly cleaned this since I bought the car, but it's not too bad with that sort of thing. And even little things like the locating slot there, which will hold water and dribble out. Just get your towel in there. That, by the way, secures. You see that there? Hang on, where is it? Just under here. There's a pin there, male part, which will just secures the door and it's shut in the frame. So that, and then around the back, it's getting in here, just drying off everything. I mean, it's just drying the whole lot down, really. With a big synthetic drying towel, this really is very easy to do. It takes seconds, and you really benefit from it because then it's, you know, it's all pretty good, really. Yeah. Same underneath the rear, and then the other side, funnily enough, is much the same. Shuts and in there. So yeah, it's worth doing because then it's nice and clean and you feel like you've done a good job. So the next, I like to just leave everything open, just some air. It's quite nice and warm and a bit of a breeze today, so it will dry off quite nicely. Now, I haven't dried the wheels. They tend to dry themselves, and my wheels kind of need they need redoing, really. They don't need doing, but I'd like to. But the beauty of the mineralised water is that I haven't actually dried those with a cloth. But to be honest, I'm looking at them now thinking I don't really need to. They come up really well, the caliper's nice and clean. Yeah. Let's go look at the rear on that side. They're kind of okay. I've got to be honest, the mineralised water filter is not a cheap thing, but it's definitely worth its weight in gold on a day when there's any possible risk of water drying on the car. But you know, that's all pretty good. So happy days. Now, I don't even need to get in there with a cloth. So that's job done. So basically the car is now bit of lacquer coming off there. There we go. The car is now clean, and I need to now decide whether to put any products on it. The sun is out, so the car is warm. I might wait till the sun moves around a bit. I've just noticed there's some scratch marks on there which I'm going to have to polish out at some point, which is where the cable for the battery charger has rested on there. So note to self, that doesn't work. You need to just put a cloth or something there. But yeah, otherwise we're looking pretty good. Hood, that's dried off really nicely, about as good as it could be for the age of the car. 8.5, 9 years, 51,000 miles. Happy with that. So that is it for the moment, and I will make a decision about whether to put any product on the car. So I did actually decide to put some wax on the car. It's a liquid wax. I use an Autoglym one. There's so many of them on the market, but I put everything away, all the washing kit away. The sun moved round, the car cooled down, and I thought, come on, now's as good a chance as any to do it. So it's come up really nicely, and it's very deceptive. The camera and YouTube and the light at this time of day, and I think the Carmine red paint shows off itself rather well. But anyway, there we go. The whole car's had a layer of, quick little layer of liquid wax, which I've then obviously taken off, and yeah, happy with that. That's looking pretty good and has been a productive session. Slightly more than 2 hours, but really happy with that. Just there's wear and tear on this car. Little stone chips here, there's damage on the plastic, but do you know what, I kind of quite like that. It's kind of a car that's been used. I think that's quite a new one. There's one around here as well, but you know what, it's all looking pretty good. So definitely worth a good wash to then put a base of, nice clean base to put some wax on. So that sees me right for the next couple of weeks. So there we go. I did decide to put some wax on, and the car's come up really well, as you just heard, and had a quick look around. Conditions just came right. I thought, let's just do it. Time is right. So really chuffed with the way it's come up. And every time I get on the car and do something to it, it's just improving it a little bit and a little bit more. The irony is, if it was new, it would be perfect. So we're just really getting it back to a sort of state of newness, but it's so fun to do. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Maybe you've learned a few little washing techniques, tricks and hints. Do stick your own tricks and hints in the comments. I'd love to learn how you wash your own car. If you've enjoyed the video, please do give me a thumbs up. If you've enjoyed the series, I'd encourage you to go look at a couple of other videos. Do subscribe to the channel as well. It definitely helps me and you get the notifications. In the meantime, as before, thanks for watching. See you for the next one.